The Bellamy Brothers are known around the world for their great country music. They've had numerous #1 hits like Let Your Love Flow and Redneck Girl. But did you know they also raise Brangus, Angus, and crossbred cattle just north of Tampa? Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Sharon Alseth visits Darby, Florida, where the crossroads of cattle ranching and country music meet at the Bellamy Brothers Ranch.
This old place was bought by our great-great-grandfather Abraham Bellamy in 1870. After he came down here and he had a bullet in his hip from a skirmish at Chickamauga, Georgia.
He moved down to Florida and bought basically the old place here. The original old place is only about 200 acres.
The Bellamy brothers are the third generation on the ranch. Raising cattle is the foundation of the Bellamy family.
So in Florida, you know, there's such heat and humidity, you need some Brahma influence in your mother cows, and that's the way we were raised with Brahma cattle and what we used to call our native cattle early on that the Spanish brought in way back were what we called cracker cattle, and that's what we were raised on. They would cross the cracker cattle with the Brahmas, but they could endure anything, you know, it could, you know, just stand all the elements. And we were reintroducing some of the Brahma breed back into our herd just because as we get older, we're kind of getting sentimental, I guess you could say.
Well, the cattle we have now, you know, as Howard was describing, we, you know, are kind of getting back more toward our native herd. Kind of the way the cattle we had when we grew up around here, which was, you know, partly, I guess a lot of them were Brahma. Our dad and them used to call them Bramers, you know, and he's go pen that old Bramer cow, you know.
It takes a different technique to pen cattle in Florida compared to Western standards.
We didn't call them cowboys in Florida. We called them cow hunters. You know, because you literally, the woods were so thick, you had to have a dog and you had to hunt cattle to find them. You know, they could hide, a lot of hiding places. And then we have what we call cracker horses as well. They're very smaller framed so they could fit through the brush. So it was a different lifestyle, you know, than you see out west.
Our land then was much different because we had to go get them out of the woods and stuff. You know, it wasn't as much improved land as we have now. But it made for interesting times.
The Bellamy brothers found a second profession when their father introduced them to the world of music.
Our father always had music in our home. Our father played, and we started playing with our father and his friends when we were very young. And little did we know we were going to, you know, grow up and making that as a profession.
Well, I think the music business was a little bit of luck and accident, because you know, we grew up. Our dad played dobro in a kind of a western swing band.
We actually moved to Los Angeles in like the early 70s. We re-recorded Let Your Love Flow.
Just let your love flow like a mountain stream and let your love grow.
Let Your Love Flow and Redneck Girl are just a couple of the Bellamy brothers' biggest hits. Their quick rise to fame in the early 70s jump-started an exciting music career.
We've toured in like 60 countries and seen a lot of places.
We've toured everywhere from, you know, exotic islands in the South Pacific to the, you know, to Japan and Australia and South Africa and Europe. So it's just normal to us. But when we're here, we just like to be here at the ranch.
The Bellamy brothers always return to their ranching roots, weathering the ups and downs of the cattle industry.
Never get too high or too low, you know. Times are good in the cattle business right now. Prices are high, and my dad would always say, "Eating never goes out of style, son." So he said, "Don't have anything around here you can't eat. If you don't plant flowers, plant a fruit tree or something, you know." So, and as I grew older, I realized what he meant. You go through it all because you do have a passion for it. It's your lifestyle, and even the years you lose money, you still just hang in there. So that's what we've done. We've seen both ups and downs.
We're pretty much just a ranching family, and you know, when we're off the road, that's kind of what we do. We enjoy the ranch a lot, and we enjoy the cattle and even the old Z-donk, you know, walking around. And we like the outdoors and nature, and I think a lot of ranchers are that way.
Reporting from the Bellamy Brothers Ranch near Darby, Florida, I'm Sharon Alseth for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.